Today we have a test product from OSight, which is a plate that will allow me to mount the OSight S, which is an RMsc, onto a RMR optics cut weapon. Currently I have the OSight X on this dagger, and we will be taking this one off and adding the actual OSight S onto it. So hopefully everything goes smooth and I have everything I need. Let's get started. First, we're going to be removing the OSight X. All the screws that come with the OSights are T10 bits, and that's what I have on my torque screwdriver right here. So keep those screws handy, and might need those to put this plate on. I don't know if they're going to be too long or not, because the plate's going to sit down lower than the actual optics is going to sit. Here's the plate. Now the PSA Dagger is cut. This one in particular is cut for an RMR cut for the optics. I know they did have others, I think were doctor cut and possibly something else, but this one in particular is an RMR cut, and that's what this plate is for. My torque screwdriver is set right now to 17 inch-pounds of torque, and that's what OSight recommends for these screws. All the way down, you hear the click. It doesn't want to click. That's very tight though. There's a click. Even with that click though, it's very loose. So I'm guessing that these screws that I did have in the OSight X will be too long. So unscrew those. When messing with all the little screws, I like this little rubber mat that I have. It has little spots to help the screws so they don't fall, they don't roll around, and they're easy to see. So these particular screws for the PSA Dagger are a number 6 by 32, and they're 8mm screws. These are the screws that came with the OSight X, and they recommend for this plate, for me to add the OSight S onto it, that I need to have the M3 by 8mm screws, and they come in the OSight X, but they do not come with the OSight S screws. The OSight S screws are actually longer screws that come with it, that's needed for the optics. So since the OSight S screws that come from there are going to be longer than what these are, because these are the 8mm number 6 by 32s. I did have my original plate that came with it, my plate cover, and these do look to be smaller screws. That's the plate cover that came with this when I bought it. And the screws that came with it, definitely a lot smaller. And the screws that came with the PSA will take a T8 bit, which I have saved in that bag because that's the only thing I use a T8 for my Torx. So this right here is the screw that came out of my OSight X that was holding it in and was the correct screw for it. And that is the smaller screw that came with the original cover plate, just a decorative plate or cover plate, whatever you want to call it, to hold it on there when I first bought the slide itself. And that's what I'm going to use to install this plate in here. Okay. There you go. Felt that click. So now the plate is nice and snug. Does not look to be moving around at all. So now I need OSight S. That fits right on there. And they want us to use the M3 by 8mm. Now the OSight X actually comes with this nice case here. I'm not sure how much you can tell, but it actually has all the screws labeled in there and nice holders. Nice little bonus. Go. Nice and snug. I don't feel any movement, any play in that. And the suppressor sights are actually able to be co-witnessed through it. So there you have it, installing the OSight S onto an RMR cut firearm. And next we'll be able to take this out to the range and make sure it holds 0 and the plate stays steady, no wiggle, and do a nice full follow-up video with this.